I'm going to call this one of those don't do what I did hacks. I've got a lift here, and it's set up so that you can lift a ton, 3/4 of a ton, half a ton, or a 1/4 ton. Well, a 1/4 ton would be 500 pounds, right? Yep, and I don't think just lifting the wheels off the ground on this would be 500 pounds. So what I did, and like I say, this is probably a hack, and I wouldn't recommend do it because somebody could get hurt, but I just had a big piece of 1-inch steel bar with a big nut on the end. I ran a chain down, I put a piece of rebar through the 2 holes where the front hood would normally bolt on my John Deere 165, and I'm able to jack those front wheels up. Now, initially I wanted to get the wheels off the ground so I can slide this mower deck out from under it without having to deal with those arms that are sticking out. I might still have a belt. That I have to unhook. But anyway, the back wheels of my lift are off the ground a little bit, which is not a good sign. But once I unhook the belt, I should be able to slide this out with no problemo. Now I'm going to lift it more because I'm changing this motor. I didn't go through a step-by-step change on this motor yet so far because everything is pretty self-explanatory, and there's some probably other better ones than mine out there. But I'll tell you what I did do. I took this bolt, these 2 screws loose here, and these 2 here in order to get that muffler out, which the exhaust comes out here and the muffler sits down here. I disconnected this line from right there, and I'm going to disconnect the fuel line from back here. I took the battery out. I'm going to be taking loose the places where this wires into the starter, and I will be taking this rod off to get to that connection there, and I may wind up removing this piece in order to get to the top where this bolts in there. But that's where I am so far. So I thought I'd show you that. And I've got a newer motor in this box, so we're gonna get that one sort of close to the point where I'm ready to take it off. And we'll open the box, see what we got in here. Oh, joy. Well, I was interested to see how they would package an engine to ship. So, I got a big sturdy box with staples and straps. I got several layers of insulated foam for padding. I got some bottles in here to keep it from rattling around. Yeah, they do. And then I got a big black garbage bag in here. See what she looks like down in there. And that's what she looks like down in there. Sitting on her side, so I want to, I think he said he drained the oil out before he shipped it, so we'll get it up out of there. We'll take a look a little closer. Might make sense to cut down the side of that box so I can roll it like this. Not a lightweight thing there. I think I'll cut the box away back here so that I can get it out of the way. Okay then. Okay, here's what I took loose on the starter. This was on the main bolt. That's the big bolt on the starter where the hot wire goes. Also, this This is the hot wire that goes to the hot side of the battery. So these two wires were on that pole right there. This little wire, which would be the one that accentuates the starter, would have been right there. And these run back through here. Actually, they were stuck up under the tube that the oil goes in, and they go through the firewall right here. And you can pull those out to the side to get them out of your way. This wire here stays with the motor, and it's the same as you see that wire there on the motor. And there's a three-pronged wire, a three-pronged plug that goes into. And of course, this will run up to the workings of the mower as far as the starter and the cutoff switch and all that stuff. So I'm just looking at my ignition switch, that green stuff growing on it, which is usually corrosion. But yeah, it'd be a good time to change it, but it might not need to. It might not hurt to coat it with something. So what I need to do now is get the clutch off of it, and to do that I need to get under it. So I need to get all this stuff off of it, because I'm going to basically lift it up. I may want to drain the oil before I do that. Probably I will. And I probably want a stronger support. I'm lifting by this radius rod, which I can see is bending, so I might want a bigger rod to lift by. So I'm going to cut y'all off again while we go and find that stuff, and I'll be right back. So when I drained the oil out of my old motor, I ran it through one of these mesh bags to catch any metal or any trash or anything that could have been in the oil, and there's nothing. Let's see, what is this? Here. That's a piece of a tree limb that could have been in the bag since before. Tell me it's not just a piece of trash. Yeah, so I think I'm ready to lift the lawnmower up and loosen the motor and take it off. I disconnected the gas line. I told you that already. So let's get her up, and I put a little heavier rod in the front to lift that well. Let's pick her up. And I've been a little concerned about how to get the clutch off, but I looked online. It doesn't look like it's all that hard. I thought it would be, especially if you were trying to lay down and reach up under there and do it. That's one reason why I wanted to lift it up like this. I also noted that over on the side where the oil dipstick is, there's an oil drain that goes through the frame, so it's going to be necessary when you unbolt the engine to shift it, get that to come out. Got gas coming after that. Didn't think about that, but I need to take the gas out of it. Okay, it takes a little wiggling and jiggling around, but you can usually get it out. Now, this whole thing's supposed to drop down. You might have to prise it down. I'm not sure. This is the part where I watched a few YouTube videos to try to figure out how to get that off. I think it just slides off. I'm going to squirt a little lubricant up in there. And we'll give her a little jerk. See if she comes down. Well, that came off easy. The so easy I didn't catch it. Alright, let's take a look. Alright, so now I should be able to unbolt that motor and lift her off of there. Now I'm guessing it's heavy. There's another pulley on there too. Oh, that's coming right off. There's a belt on that. Probably gonna have to, well, I know it's gonna have to come off. It's not off there though. Getting it back on there might be interesting, but get it off first. Worry about getting it back on there when we put it back. I have to stretch something to get it off of there. Pretty tight. I bet there's a release on it somewhere. We'll figure that out. We'll figure it out later. May be that if I loosen the motor will move a little and make it easy to get that off. So I'll just get the bolts out of the motor. The motor has moved a little. Sitting right against the firewall. Maybe a way to loosen that belt by moving the yeah, he's able to roll the belt around and get it off of there. Yeah. The key came out when that came out, just so we know it fits right in here when this goes back on that shaft. So I'm going to put the key in here. Oh, yeah, that motor should be ready to lift off there now. Should be. Yep, looks like it's right loose. So I'm going to let it back down. And lift the old motor off, set the new motor back on there, and reattach everything, hopefully. I don't know if I'll need to devise a little lift to pick the motor up. I can just do it by hand. See how heavy it is. Not dreadfully bad so far. It's manageable. Let me figure out where I want to sit it. I got a little roller back here. I might could set it off onto this one on the back of it. Set the new one right up on there. That might hold just fine. Okay, Pete, how strong are you? Worse than it is, I think. That is enough to let you know you got it back, though. Yeah. And I believe before I put it on there, I'll just clean this real good. It looks like it could use a good cleaning. This ain't horrible to clean. Just scrape it right off of there. I'll get some carburetor cleaner and a rag, and we'll spray that off real good and make it nice before we set the new one back on it. Alright, let's set this new one back up on there. Alright, we jack her back up, put the pulley back on it, and put bolts in it. And then start hooking everything back up. Put some oil in it.